In the realm of romantic relationships, women often find themselves caught in the tension between emotion and logic, two powerful forces that shape their experiences and decisions in love. Emotions, driven by passion, affection, and instinct, often take center stage, guiding women's immediate reactions and forming the foundation of deep emotional connections. On the other hand, logic, rooted in reason, practicality, and long-term perspective, provides a more measured approach to navigating relationships, especially when faced with challenges or tough decisions. This dynamic can sometimes create internal conflict, as emotions can cloud judgment, while logic may feel disconnected from the emotional richness of love. For women seeking balance, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a unique framework that can be particularly beneficial in managing this emotional-logical dichotomy. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-control, resilience, and rational thinking, teaches individuals to detach from the uncontrollable aspects of life, such as fleeting emotions, while focusing on what is within their power, their responses, thoughts, and actions. In the context of love and relationships, Stoicism can serve as a guiding compass, helping women navigate the complexities of romantic life with emotional awareness, logical clarity, and a sense of inner peace. Number 1. Stoic wisdom in love. Balancing emotion and logic. Love, in all its beauty and complexity, is an emotional experience that often leads to moments of intense joy and vulnerability. For women, these emotions are powerful, shaping not only how they feel, but also how they act in relationships. Yet, emotions can also cloud judgment, leading to impulsive decisions or overreactions in times of conflict. On the other hand, logic, while providing clarity and long-term vision, can sometimes feel detached from the passionate and unpredictable nature of love. Finding the balance between these two forces, emotion and logic, can be challenging, but it's essential for creating stable, fulfilling relationships. This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that emphasizes self-control, rationality, and resilience, can offer profound wisdom and guidance. At the heart of Stoicism is the idea that we cannot control external events or other people's actions, but we can control our reactions to them. This perspective is particularly relevant in love, where emotions can often feel uncontrollable. Stoicism teaches that by practicing emotional resilience and focusing on our internal responses, we can maintain peace of mind and make decisions based on reason rather than being swept away by emotional impulses. The Stoic approach to love is not about suppressing emotions, but about recognizing them, understanding them, and choosing how to respond to them in a way that aligns with one's values and long-term goals. For women navigating romantic relationships, embracing Stoic wisdom means learning to accept emotions without letting them dictate their every action. It's about fostering emotional intelligence, understanding that while feelings of love, anger, jealousy, or fear are natural, they do not need to control behavior. By acknowledging emotions, reflecting on their origins, and considering their impact on the future, women can better manage their emotional responses and avoid the pitfalls of impulsivity. In practice, Stoic wisdom in love means recognizing that relationships are not perfect and that challenges, whether small disagreements or major conflicts, are opportunities for growth. When emotions run high, Stoicism encourages stepping back, taking a moment of reflection and assessing the situation logically. This doesn't mean suppressing anger or frustration, but rather asking questions like, what can I control in this situation? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values and respects both myself and my partner? By shifting focus to what is within one's control, the response, the action, and the mindset, women can navigate romantic challenges with a sense of calm and clarity. Another key aspect of Stoic wisdom is the idea of acceptance, accepting both the impermanence of life and the inevitable ups and downs in relationships. Love, like everything else in life, is constantly changing, and people's emotions can fluctuate. Stoicism teaches that by embracing the transient nature of love, women can avoid becoming overly attached to the emotional highs or crushed by the lows. Instead of seeing relationship struggles as personal failures, Stoicism encourages seeing them as part of the natural ebb and flow of life, offering opportunities for reflection, learning, and growth. The Stoic principle of virtue, living a life of wisdom, courage, justice, and moderation, also provides a strong foundation for women in love. In relationships, this means acting with integrity, communicating openly, and making decisions that align with one's values, even when emotions might suggest a different course of action. For example, instead of acting out of jealousy or fear, a Stoic approach would encourage taking a step back to evaluate whether those feelings are rooted in insecurity or irrational thought, and then choosing a response that fosters trust, respect, and understanding. Self-mastery, another central tenet of Stoicism, is equally important in love. It encourages women to cultivate a strong sense of self, to not be dependent on external validation or the approval of others, and to develop an inner resilience that allows them to face challenges with composure. In romantic relationships, this can help women maintain a sense of independence and emotional balance, even when faced with difficult situations. When emotions and logic are brought into balance through Stoicism, love becomes more than just a series of reactive moments. It becomes a mindful, thoughtful process. Women can experience the full depth of their emotions, joy, passion, sadness, longing, without being overwhelmed by them. They can act with reason and purpose, ensuring their actions align with their goals and values. Ultimately, Stoic wisdom offers a way for women to love more fully without losing themselves in the process, and to create relationships that are grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and emotional maturity. In conclusion, the Stoic approach to love is not about denying or diminishing emotions, but about understanding and mastering them in a way that empowers women to make thoughtful, rational decisions. It provides a practical and empowering philosophy for navigating the complex emotional landscape of love, helping women to strike a balance between passion and reason. By embracing Stoic wisdom, women can cultivate stronger, more fulfilling relationships, grounded in emotional resilience, clarity, and mindful decision-making. Number 2. Emotions versus logic. A Stoic approach to women's love. Liv's love is one of the most powerful forces in life, and for women, it can be both a source of immense joy and at times deep emotional turmoil. In relationships, emotions often run high, influencing decisions, reactions, and long-term commitment. Yet, love is also a complex journey that requires more than just emotional engagement. It demands clarity, rational thought, and sometimes even hard decisions that might not always align with the heart's desires. This is where Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy that emphasizes self-control, rationality, and the distinction between what we can and cannot control, offers a unique and empowering approach to navigating love and relationships. At the core of Stoicism lies the belief that we cannot control external events, other people's actions, or even our emotions in the moment, but we can control how we respond to them. In the context of love, this means recognizing that emotions are inevitable and natural, but understanding that they don't have to dictate our actions. For women navigating the complexities of love, a Stoic approach encourages stepping back from intense emotions to reflect on them logically, assess their origins, and decide on the most rational course of action. Understanding emotions in love. Emotions are deeply ingrained in the human experience, and for women, they often play a dominant role in how they approach love. The feelings of affection, passion, desire, and even jealousy are powerful forces that can shape decisions and interactions. While these emotions are natural and valid, they can sometimes lead to impulsive actions, misunderstandings, or decisions driven by fear or insecurity. A Stoic approach to love encourages women to acknowledge their emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control our emotional impulses, we can control how we react to them and whether we allow them to govern our behavior. For instance, when feelings of jealousy or insecurity arise, Stoicism prompts women to take a step back and ask, "What is within my control in this situation? How can I respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively?" This process of reflection allows emotions to be seen as temporary responses, not as directives that must be followed. The Stoic focus on emotional resilience doesn't suggest suppressing emotions, but rather becoming aware of them and choosing how to respond in ways that align with one's values and long-term goals. The role of logic in relationships. While emotions can fuel passion and connection in relationships, logic provides the clarity needed for long-term stability and decision-making. Logic allows women to evaluate situations more objectively, making it easier to navigate the complexities of love without losing sight of one's needs, desires, and boundaries. In relationships, women often face difficult decisions, whether it's about commitment, conflict resolution, or future plans. Logic helps in understanding what's best for the relationship, how to communicate effectively, and whether a certain decision aligns with personal values. A Stoic approach to logic in love involves not just clear thinking, but also the cultivation of wisdom. Wisdom, in Stoic terms, is about understanding the nature of life and relationships and making decisions based on reason, not impulse. For example, a Stoic woman might feel the intense emotions of love and passion, but would also recognize the importance of clear communication, mutual respect, and understanding in maintaining a healthy relationship. She might prioritize harmony, compromise, and logical reasoning over rash emotional reactions during times of disagreement or conflict. Finding balance, emotion, and logic together. The key to a Stoic approach to love lies in balancing emotions and logic. Emotions provide the passion and depth that make relationships meaningful, while logic offers the rationality that ensures decisions are made with clarity and foresight. Women can find harmony between the two by practicing mindfulness and emotional intelligence, both of which are central to Stoicism. By acknowledging emotions without being overwhelmed by them, women can create space to think critically about their feelings and the situation at hand. For example, when faced with a disagreement, a Stoic approach would encourage pausing to reflect before reacting emotionally. It might involve taking a moment to breathe, evaluate what's at stake, and then respond in a way that respects both emotions and logical reasoning. This means not letting anger dictate the conversation, but rather using logic to communicate calmly and thoughtfully. The Stoic practice of self-control. Self-control is a cornerstone of Stoicism, and it plays an important role in how women navigate love and relationships. In romantic relationships, self-control allows women to act with patience and understanding, even in challenging or emotionally charged moments. It teaches the importance of controlling immediate reactions, especially in moments of anger or frustration, and instead taking a reasoned approach to resolve conflicts. This practice of self-discipline allows women to act from a place of clarity and integrity rather than from emotional volatility. Self-control doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It means cultivating a balanced response to those emotions. For instance, Rather than reacting to a partner's mistake with immediate criticism, a Stoic approach encourages pausing to reflect on the situation. Is the mistake truly a cause for anger, or is it a moment that can be handled with understanding and communication? By practicing self-control, women can create space for more thoughtful, intentional actions, which ultimately lead to healthier relationships. Embracing acceptance and perspective. One of the key lessons in Stoicism is the idea of acceptance. Stoics teach that we cannot control everything that happens in life, including the actions of others. In love, this means accepting that relationships are not perfect and that conflicts and challenges will arise. Rather than becoming emotionally overwhelmed by these challenges, a Stoic approach encourages acceptance of the situation and a focus on what can be controlled, one's response. In relationships, this acceptance also extends to understanding that feelings will fluctuate. Love is not static, and emotions will ebb and flow. A Stoic approach encourages women to see these changes as part of the natural course of relationships, rather than as signs of failure or crisis. By shifting perspective and accepting what is beyond control, women can approach love with greater peace and resilience. Number 3. How Stoicism helps women find emotional balance in love. Love is often portrayed as a roller coaster of emotions, full of passion, joy, vulnerability, and sometimes heartache. For women, this emotional intensity can be both exhilarating and overwhelming. Relationships naturally bring out strong feelings, and while these emotions can deepen connections, they can also cloud judgment and lead to impulsive decisions or unnecessary drama. In the quest for lasting love and meaningful connections, women often seek emotional balance, the ability to navigate their feelings with clarity and purpose. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that emphasizes rationality, self-control, and emotional resilience, offers valuable tools for women to find this balance in love. At its core, Stoicism teaches that we cannot control everything in life, especially external events and the actions of others, but we can control how we respond to them. This perspective is crucial when it comes to love, as romantic relationships often stir up emotions that can feel beyond our control. Stoicism encourages women to recognize that while emotions are natural and valid, they do not have to dictate every decision or reaction. Instead, by practicing mindfulness, emotional awareness, and rational thinking, women can create space between feeling and response, allowing them to maintain a sense of calm, even in emotionally charged moments. Recognizing emotions without being overwhelmed by them. One of the primary ways Stoicism helps women achieve emotional balance in love is by encouraging them to recognize their emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. Emotions like love, jealousy, fear, and frustration are powerful forces, but they are also temporary. Stoicism teaches that while we may not always control our emotional reactions, we can control how we respond to them. Instead of acting impulsively based on immediate feelings, a Stoic approach encourages women to pause, reflect, and consider whether their emotional reactions are aligned with their values or the situation at hand. For example, if a woman feels anger or jealousy in a relationship, Stoicism prompts her to ask herself, "What is within my control in this situation? How can I respond thoughtfully?" This approach helps to prevent knee-jerk reactions, which might otherwise lead to unnecessary conflict or emotional outbursts. By acknowledging the emotion but not letting it control her actions, the woman can then make decisions that are more reflective, measured, and in line with her long-term goals in the relationship. Emotional resilience, bouncing back from setbacks. Emotional resilience is a key aspect of Stoicism and one that plays a vital role in navigating the ups and downs of romantic relationships. In love, setbacks are inevitable, whether it's a disagreement, a betrayal, or even the end of a relationship. How women respond to these setbacks determines how well they can maintain their emotional balance. Stoicism teaches that suffering, pain, and disappointment are part of the human experience, and rather than avoiding or suppressing these emotions, we should accept them as natural. Through Stoicism, women can learn to see emotional setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than signs of failure. If a relationship goes through a rough patch, or if a woman experiences heartache, Stoicism encourages her to reflect on what can be learned from the situation, what is in her control, and what can she change or improve. This mindset promotes emotional resilience by shifting focus from external events to internal responses, allowing women to bounce back from challenges with greater wisdom and strength. Practicing self-control and impulse management. In the heat of the moment, especially in romantic relationships, emotions can sometimes push women to act out of impulse, whether it's making rash decisions, saying things in anger, or responding to insecurity with jealousy. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on self-control, urging individuals to resist the urge to react impulsively. In relationships, practicing self-control means resisting the temptation to give in to emotional extremes, such as rage or over-attachment, and instead responding with a sense of inner calm and rationality. For instance, if a woman feels the urge to lash out in anger after an argument, Stoicism encourages her to pause and evaluate her emotions before reacting. This might mean taking a deep breath, stepping away from the situation, and allowing time to reflect on the best course of action. By practicing self-control, a Stoic woman can communicate with more clarity, manage conflicts with greater understanding, and avoid unnecessary escalation in her relationships. Embracing the impermanence of emotions. Stoicism teaches the importance of accepting the impermanence of life, and this extends to emotions as well. In love, emotions are often fleeting. What may feel like an all-consuming love, one moment can shift into frustration or sadness the next. Rather than becoming attached to every emotional high or low, Stoicism encourages women to embrace the transient nature of emotions and recognize that they are not permanent. By accepting that feelings will rise and fall, women can maintain a sense of emotional stability and avoid becoming overly attached to any one moment. For example, if a woman is feeling intense sadness after a breakup, Stoicism reminds her that this feeling is temporary and that with time it will pass. This acceptance reduces emotional suffering and allows women to navigate love with greater grace and equanimity. Cultivating rational thought in love. While emotions are a natural part of love, Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of rational thinking in relationships. Love is not just about emotional connection, but also about making decisions that align with one's values and long-term well-being. For women, Stoicism offers the tools to make more rational decisions in relationships, whether it's evaluating compatibility with a partner, deciding how to handle conflicts, or determining whether a relationship is healthy and worth pursuing. Number 4. The Stoic woman. Managing love with logic and emotion. Love is one of the most profound and powerful human experiences, yet it often comes with emotional turbulence, moments of intense joy, as well as heartache. For women, navigating the emotional complexity of love can sometimes feel overwhelming. While love is often celebrated for its passionate intensity, it can also cloud judgment and lead to impulsive decisions that may not align with long-term happiness or well-being. For those seeking a way to reconcile their emotional depth with rational thinking, Stoicism provides a framework that can help women manage both love's emotional intensity and its practical demands. At its core, Stoicism is a philosophy that emphasizes emotional resilience, self-control, and the importance of rational thinking in the face of life's challenges. It teaches that while we cannot always control our emotions or external circumstances, we can control how we respond to them. This Stoic approach is particularly relevant in relationships, where emotions are often at their peak and logic can sometimes feel distant. For the Stoic woman, the goal is not to suppress emotions or deny their importance, but to find a balance that allows her to navigate love with both emotional depth and rational clarity. Embracing the emotional landscape of love. Love, by its very nature, brings about a wide range of emotions: affection, passion, desire, joy, jealousy, fear, and sometimes even anger or disappointment. For many women, these emotions can be overwhelming, especially when faced with challenges in a relationship. The Stoic woman understands that emotions are natural, and she does not try to suppress or reject them. Instead, she acknowledges them, accepts them, and uses them as opportunities for growth and reflection. In Stoicism, the key is to recognize that while we can't always control how we feel, we can control how we act on those feelings. For example, when experiencing jealousy or frustration in a relationship, a Stoic woman would take a step back to assess why she is feeling the way she is. Is it due to insecurity, a misunderstanding, or a deeper fear of losing her partner? By reflecting on the source of her emotions, she can respond more thoughtfully and prevent impulsive actions that might damage the relationship. In this way, the Stoic woman is able to navigate the emotional landscape of love without being ruled by her feelings. The power of rational thought in romantic relationships. While emotions are a vital part of love, they do not always provide a clear path forward in relationships. In times of conflict, confusion, or uncertainty, logic becomes a necessary tool for navigating romantic challenges. Stoicism teaches that rational thought should complement emotional experience, allowing individuals to make decisions that are aligned with their long-term goals and values. For the Stoic woman, logic provides the clarity needed to make sound decisions about her relationships. If a relationship is facing difficulties, the Stoic woman will focus on evaluating the situation objectively without letting temporary emotions cloud her judgment. She might ask herself, "What can I control in this situation? What steps can I take to resolve this issue constructively?" By approaching the situation from a place of reason rather than emotional reaction, she can maintain a sense of control and composure. For example, if there is a disagreement with a partner, a Stoic woman will approach the conflict with a calm and rational mindset, focusing on clear communication and resolution, rather than getting caught up in anger or defensiveness. She understands that while emotions may drive her to react impulsively, it is logic and reason that will lead to more effective communication and problem-solving. Practicing self-control in love. Self-control is one of the foundational principles of Stoicism, and it plays a significant role in the Stoic woman's ability to manage her emotions in love. In romantic relationships, emotions can sometimes trigger impulsive actions, whether it's reacting in anger, making decisions out of fear, or becoming overly attached to a partner. Stoicism teaches that by exercising self-control, women can navigate these emotional extremes with greater wisdom and patience. The Stoic woman practices self-discipline by learning to pause before reacting to emotions. When feeling overwhelmed by love or anger, she takes a moment to reflect and assess the situation before responding. This practice of pausing creates the space needed for rational thought and prevents impulsive actions that could be regretted later. For example, if she feels hurt or disappointed by her partner, the Stoic woman may choose to take time to reflect on the situation and her own emotions, rather than immediately confronting her partner in a heated state. By doing so, she is able to communicate her feelings more clearly and constructively. For example, in the early stages of a relationship, emotions may run high, and the Stoic woman allows herself to fully embrace the excitement and passion that come with love. However, she also ensures that her decisions are based on reason, evaluating the compatibility of her partner and the health of the relationship. As the relationship progresses, she continues to balance her emotional investment with rational thought, maintaining an equilibrium that fosters both passion and long-term stability. Accepting what is outside our control. Another essential Stoic principle is the idea of accepting what is outside our control. In relationships, this means acknowledging that we cannot control our partner's actions, thoughts, or feelings. The Stoic woman understands that love, like all things, is subject to change, and that some circumstances may be beyond her influence. Instead of becoming frustrated or anxious about things outside her control, she focuses on what she can control, her own actions, thoughts, and responses. For example, if a partner changes in ways that cause discomfort or insecurity, the Stoic woman does not try to change her partner or force the relationship to fit her ideal. Instead, she reflects on her own feelings and examines whether her expectations are realistic or whether she needs to adapt her own mindset. By accepting the limits of her control, she can approach challenges in a relationship with a sense of inner peace and emotional resilience. Cultivating inner peace and self-worth. Ultimately, the Stoic woman's approach to love is grounded in inner peace and self-worth. Stoicism teaches that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, rather than from external circumstances or the approval of others. In love, this means that the Stoic woman does not rely on her partner for validation or happiness, but draws strength from her own sense of self. By cultivating a strong sense of inner peace and self-worth, the Stoic woman is able to enter relationships with confidence and emotional stability. She can love deeply and passionately without losing sight of her own identity or becoming overly dependent on her partner. This inner strength allows her to navigate love with clarity, authenticity, and resilience, creating relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. A Stoic woman might approach a relationship by evaluating it not just through the lens of emotion, but also by considering factors such as mutual respect, shared values, and emotional maturity. When facing difficult decisions, such as whether to stay in or leave a relationship, Stoicism encourages rational reflection over emotional reaction. It's about asking the right questions, reflecting on what truly matters, and making choices that promote long-term happiness and peace. Finding inner peace and contentment. Ultimately, Stoicism helps women find emotional balance in love by fostering a sense of inner peace and contentment. Stoicism encourages women to focus on what is within their control, such as their responses, thoughts, and actions, while accepting what is beyond their control, such as the actions of a partner or the course of the relationship. This sense of inner peace comes from recognizing that we are not defined by external circumstances, but by how we choose to respond to them. By cultivating inner peace through Stoic practices, women can navigate their love lives with greater emotional balance, resilience, and clarity. They can love deeply and passionately without losing themselves in the process, and make decisions that reflect their true values and long-term goals. Number 5. Stoicism and women. Using reason to navigate romantic emotions. Love is often described as a whirlwind of emotions, passionate, intense, and sometimes unpredictable. For women, these emotions can be particularly powerful, influencing decisions, actions, and even personal well-being. While emotions are an essential part of romantic relationships, they can also cloud judgment, lead to impulsive decisions, and create unnecessary turmoil. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rooted in rational thought, self-control, and emotional resilience, provides a framework for women to navigate the complexities of love with clarity and wisdom. At the heart of Stoicism is the understanding that while we cannot control external events, including the behavior of our romantic partners, we can control how we respond to them. For women in love, this means learning to balance emotional impulses with logical reasoning, allowing them to act with greater intentionality, self-awareness, and inner peace. In relationships, where emotions can run high, Stoicism offers valuable tools to navigate the emotional highs and lows without losing sight of one's long-term values or personal well-being. Understanding emotions in love. Emotions in romantic relationships are powerful forces. For women, feelings of love, affection, passion, and even jealousy or fear can drive both positive and negative reactions. While emotions like joy, excitement, and affection can deepen connections, emotions like insecurity, fear, or anger can lead to impulsive decisions or create misunderstandings. Stoicism encourages women to recognize and acknowledge these emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Rather than denying or suppressing emotions, the Stoic approach involves understanding their roots and giving oneself space to reflect. For example, if a woman feels insecure in a relationship, instead of acting on that feeling through jealousy or anger, Stoicism encourages her to pause and consider, what am I truly feeling? Why do I feel this way? Is it a reflection of my partner's actions, or does it stem from my own insecurities? This introspection helps her move from reactive emotions to thoughtful responses, maintaining emotional clarity. The role of rational thought in romantic relationships. While emotions are an essential part of romantic connections, rational thinking provides the clarity and direction needed for healthy, lasting relationships. In love, logical reasoning helps guide decisions, manage conflicts, and assess whether a relationship is in alignment with personal values and long-term goals. Stoicism places a high value on using reason as a tool to navigate the complexities of love, especially when emotions may be clouding judgment. For the Stoic woman, reason is a guiding force in moments of conflict or uncertainty. If faced with a difficult decision, whether it's about the future of the relationship, how to handle a disagreement, or whether to forgive a partner for a mistake, rational thought helps her stay grounded. Rather than being swept away by emotions such as anger or sadness, she takes a step back to evaluate the situation logically. What are the facts? What is within her control and what is not? What are the potential consequences of her actions? By answering these questions, the Stoic woman is better equipped to make decisions that are thoughtful, measured, and in her best interest. Practicing self-control in romantic relationships. Self-control is one of the central tenets of Stoicism, and it plays an especially important role in navigating romantic relationships. In love, emotions can often provoke impulsive reactions, whether it's saying something hurtful in anger, acting out of jealousy, or becoming overly dependent on a partner. The Stoic woman practices self-control by resisting the urge to react impulsively to emotional triggers and instead choosing a more thoughtful, composed response. For example, if a woman feels upset after an argument, the Stoic approach encourages her to resist the temptation to immediately confront her partner with anger or frustration. Instead, she takes a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect on the situation. Is her anger justified? Is there another way to express her feelings calmly and constructively? By practicing this level of self-control, she ensures that her actions align with her values and the goals she has for the relationship, rather than being driven by fleeting emotional impulses. Balancing emotion and reason for a healthier relationship. The key to successfully navigating romantic emotions is finding a balance between emotion and reason. Emotions, when properly acknowledged and managed, can bring depth and connection to a relationship. However, when emotions are allowed to dominate decision-making, they can lead to conflict, misunderstanding, and regret. Rational thought provides the structure and perspective needed to ensure that the emotional landscape of a relationship remains healthy and balanced. The Stoic woman learns to embrace both emotion and reason in her relationships. When she feels intense love or passion, she allows herself to fully experience those emotions without being consumed by them. However, she also remains mindful of her values, boundaries, and long-term goals. When faced with a difficult decision or emotional challenge, she uses rational thought to guide her actions, ensuring that her responses are aligned with the relationship's long-term health and her personal well-being. For instance, if a woman experiences intense attraction or infatuation with someone, Stoicism teaches her not to become overly attached or blinded by emotion. Instead, she might reflect on whether the relationship aligns with her values, whether her feelings are based on reality or fantasy, and whether the relationship is healthy and balanced. In this way, reason ensures that her emotional investment remains grounded in reality and wisdom. Accepting what is outside our control. One of the most important teachings of Stoicism is the concept of accepting what is outside our control. In romantic relationships, this principle becomes especially relevant. We cannot control our partner's behavior, emotions, or decisions. Stoicism encourages women to focus on what they can control, their own thoughts, actions, and reactions. When facing challenges in a relationship, the Stoic woman practices acceptance. If a partner behaves in a way that is hurtful or disappointing, instead of trying to control or change them, she focuses on her own response. Can she communicate her feelings clearly and respectfully? Can she choose to act with dignity, even in the face of disappointment? By focusing on what is within her control and letting go of what is not, the Stoic woman maintains emotional balance and resilience. For example, if a partner forgets an important date or makes a mistake, the Stoic woman would not allow herself to spiral into frustration or resentment. Instead, she reflects on her emotions, responds calmly, and engages in constructive communication, focusing on the present moment rather than past grievances. Cultivating inner peace and emotional resilience. Ultimately, Stoicism offers women the tools to cultivate inner peace and emotional resilience in love. By practicing emotional awareness, rational thought, and self-control, women can navigate the complexities of relationships without being overwhelmed by their emotions. Stoicism teaches that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from external circumstances or the approval of others. By developing this inner strength, women can approach love from a place of emotional balance and wisdom. A Stoic woman understands that love is not about perfection or control, but about growth, mutual respect, and shared values. By focusing on what is in her control and accepting what is beyond it, she can navigate romantic emotions with clarity, resilience, and grace, building relationships that are not only emotionally fulfilling but also rooted in wisdom and balance. Number 6. Emotional control in love, a Stoic guide for women. Love is a powerful, all-consuming force. It can bring immense joy, connection, and fulfillment, but it can also stir up intense emotions that may lead to confusion, impulsivity, or unnecessary conflict. For women navigating the complexities of romantic relationships, emotional control can often feel like an elusive goal. However, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a practical and empowering approach to managing emotions in love. By learning to balance passion with reason, women can create relationships that are not only emotionally fulfilling, but also stable, grounded, and healthy. At the heart of Stoicism is the belief that while we cannot always control our emotions or the external events that trigger them, we can control how we respond to them. This understanding is especially valuable in love, where emotions often run high. The Stoic Guide for Emotional Control in Love empowers women to acknowledge their feelings without being dominated by them, respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, and maintain inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Understanding the role of emotions in love. Emotions are a natural part of being human, and in romantic relationships, they play an important role in creating deep connections, fostering empathy, and building intimacy. Love, in its many forms, romantic, passionate, tender, brings with it a wide array of emotions, from joy and excitement to jealousy, frustration, and vulnerability. For women, these emotions can sometimes be overwhelming. However, Stoicism teaches that emotions, while valid, are not always reliable guides for decision-making. Emotions tend to be temporary and changeable, often influenced by external circumstances or fleeting events. This is why Stoicism encourages emotional awareness and reflection. Instead of simply reacting to emotions, a Stoic approach involves understanding their source, evaluating their significance, and deciding how to respond in a way that aligns with one's values and long-term goals. For example, if a woman feels jealousy when her partner spends time with others, Stoicism invites her to explore the root of this emotion. Is it a result of insecurity or fear of loss? By reflecting on the underlying cause, she can respond with greater understanding, either by communicating her feelings constructively or by recognizing that her jealousy may not be based on reality. In this way, Stoicism allows emotions to inform behavior without being ruled by them. The power of rational thought in emotional control. While emotions in love can feel all-consuming, Stoicism teaches that rational thought is a powerful tool for managing them. Rationality offers clarity, stability, and perspective when emotions are threatening to overwhelm us. For the Stoic woman, using reason to navigate romantic feelings helps to avoid impulsive decisions, unnecessary drama, or emotional volatility. Moreover, rational thought helps women avoid making decisions that are driven by unrealistic expectations, such as idealizing a partner or seeking validation through the relationship. By focusing on the reality of the situation rather than idealizing love or romantic fantasy, the Stoic woman is able to make choices that are grounded in truth, not emotion-based assumptions. Practicing emotional resilience and self-control. Emotional resilience, the ability to recover from emotional setbacks and adapt to challenging situations, is a key Stoic principle that helps women maintain emotional control in love. In any romantic relationship, there will be moments of disappointment, hurt, or conflict. How women respond to these emotional challenges determines the health and longevity of the relationship. Stoicism teaches that suffering is a natural part of life, and that emotional setbacks, while painful, are opportunities for growth and learning. Instead of allowing negative emotions like anger, sadness, or frustration to dictate reactions, a Stoic woman practices emotional resilience by accepting her feelings and focusing on constructive ways to move forward. For example, if a partner makes a mistake that causes hurt or disappointment, the Stoic woman does not dwell on the emotion of the moment. Instead, she processes the emotion, acknowledges it, and then moves toward finding a solution. This might involve communicating her feelings to her partner, reflecting on whether the issue is something that can be resolved, or choosing to forgive and let go of the hurt. By practicing emotional resilience, the Stoic woman can overcome temporary emotional turmoil without allowing it to negatively affect the relationship. Self-control, another pillar of Stoicism, complements emotional resilience by helping women avoid knee-jerk reactions that can lead to regret. In love, self-control is particularly important when emotions like anger, jealousy, or possessiveness arise. Instead of reacting impulsively or allowing these emotions to escalate, the Stoic woman takes a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect before acting. This pause creates the space needed to choose a response that is calm, thoughtful, and aligned with her values. The Stoic practice of detachment in love. One of the most empowering practices in Stoicism is the art of detachment, the ability to emotionally detach from outcomes that are outside our control. In romantic relationships, this detachment does not mean distancing oneself from the partner, but rather accepting that we cannot control the actions, feelings, or behavior of others. For the Stoic woman, detachment involves understanding that while love and affection are shared, each person is ultimately responsible for their own emotions and actions. By accepting that relationships can change, evolve, or even end, the Stoic woman frees herself from the anxiety that can come with attachment and fear of loss. This sense of emotional freedom allows her to love without becoming overly dependent on the relationship for her happiness or sense of self-worth. For example, if a woman is deeply in love but faces uncertainty about her partner's feelings or commitment, the Stoic approach would be to focus on what she can control, her own actions, emotions, and responses. She can communicate her feelings openly, but she is also at peace with the fact that she cannot force another person to feel or act in a certain way. This emotional detachment reduces anxiety and allows her to approach the relationship with greater equanimity. Cultivating emotional awareness and reflection. Emotional control is not about suppressing or ignoring emotions, but about becoming more aware of them and reflecting on their origin and impact. The Stoic woman practices mindfulness and emotional awareness, regularly taking time to reflect on her feelings, whether they arise in response to joy, love, fear, or frustration. This reflection allows her to better understand her emotional landscape, making it easier to respond to romantic situations in a balanced and thoughtful manner. Regular self-reflection is a vital part of the Stoic approach to love. Journaling, meditation, or simply taking quiet time to consider how one feels can help identify recurring emotional patterns such as fears of abandonment or tendencies toward jealousy. By recognizing these patterns, the Stoic woman can develop healthier emotional responses over time, avoiding emotional triggers and cultivating greater emotional intelligence in her relationships. Number 7. The role of logic in women's love life. Stoic insights. Romantic relationships often stir up powerful emotions: passion, excitement, vulnerability, fear, and sometimes frustration. While emotions are an essential part of love, they can also cloud judgment, create misunderstandings, and lead to impulsive actions. For women navigating the complexities of love, applying logic to emotional situations may seem counterintuitive. However, Stoicism, an ancient philosophy based on rational thought, emotional resilience, and self-control, provides valuable insights on how logic can play a crucial role in shaping healthy, stable, and fulfilling romantic relationships. For the Stoic woman, logic is not about suppressing emotions or detaching from love's intensity. Rather, it is about using reason to understand, manage, and respond to emotional experiences in a way that promotes wisdom, balance, and long-term happiness. Stoicism teaches that while we cannot control the emotions that arise in romantic relationships, we can control how we respond to them. By integrating logic into emotional decision-making, women can create relationships that are not only emotionally fulfilling, but also grounded in clarity, respect, and mutual growth. Emotions versus logic, finding a balanced approach to love. In romantic relationships, emotions and logic often seem to be in conflict. While emotions can create deep connections and intense intimacy, they can also lead to impulsive decisions or unrealistic expectations. Logic, on the other hand, encourages clear thinking, objectivity, and thoughtful decision-making. For the Stoic woman, the challenge is not to eliminate emotions, but to ensure that logic acts as a stabilizing force when emotions become overwhelming. A common dilemma in love is whether to follow one's heart or one's head. Emotions may urge a woman to act impulsively, whether it's rushing into a relationship, overreacting in moments of jealousy, or holding on to unrealistic expectations about a partner. On the other hand, logic encourages reflection, patience, and careful decision-making. The Stoic approach to this dilemma is to view emotions as valuable sources of insight, but not as the sole drivers of behavior. Logic provides a counterbalance, allowing women to make decisions based on reason rather than being swayed by fleeting emotions. For instance, if a woman feels deeply attracted to someone but is unsure of their compatibility, logic encourages her to evaluate the situation objectively. Does this relationship align with her values and long-term goals? What are the facts and what are the assumptions based on emotional impulses? By asking these questions, she can ensure that her emotions do not cloud her judgment and that she is making a choice that reflects her best interests. Using logic to manage conflict in relationships. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but how we handle it can determine the relationship's longevity and health. In moments of tension, emotions like anger, frustration, or disappointment can easily take over, leading to reactive behaviors such as shouting, blaming, or withdrawing. While emotions are natural and valid, Stoicism teaches that we have the power to choose our responses, and logic can help guide us through difficult conversations and situations. For the Stoic woman, logic provides the tools to respond to conflict in a calm and constructive manner. Instead of letting negative emotions dictate her behavior, she focuses on the facts of the situation and works toward a solution. This might involve taking a step back to assess the issue at hand, asking herself, what is the root cause of this conflict? What can I control and what is outside of my control? By using logical thinking, she avoids getting swept up in emotional reactivity and is better able to communicate effectively, resolve misunderstandings, and move forward in a positive direction. For example, if a partner says something hurtful, instead of immediately reacting out of anger, a Stoic woman might pause to reflect. Is her anger a result of misunderstanding, insecurity, or past experiences? What would be a constructive way to address the situation without letting emotions escalate the conflict further? Logic in this case becomes a tool for managing emotional responses and ensuring that the relationship remains respectful and mature. Logical thinking in assessing relationship compatibility. One of the most powerful applications of logic in love is in the process of evaluating the compatibility of a partner. Love can often feel like a spontaneous and unpredictable force, leading individuals to make decisions based on chemistry, attraction, or idealized fantasies about the future. While these emotional experiences are important, Stoicism teaches that the ability to apply logic and reason when evaluating a relationship can prevent impulsive decisions and heartache in the future. A Stoic woman assesses relationships with both her heart and mind. Emotions like attraction, passion, and affection are important, but they should not be the only factors guiding her decisions. Instead, logic encourages her to evaluate the relationship objectively. Does her partner share her values, goals, and long-term vision for life? Are they respectful, supportive, and emotionally available? Are there red flags that should not be ignored? For example, if a woman feels deeply attracted to a partner but senses that the relationship is based on unhealthy dynamics or mismatched values, logic guides her to consider the long-term implications of staying in the relationship. Does the connection align with her life's vision? Is it built on mutual respect and trust? By using logic in this way, she can avoid making emotionally driven decisions that may lead to heartache in the future. Logic and boundaries, creating healthy relationship dynamics. Another key area where logic plays a vital role in love is in setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. In romantic relationships, it is easy for emotions to blur the lines between personal needs and the needs of the partner. The Stoic woman uses logic to create clear, healthy boundaries that protect her emotional well-being while fostering mutual respect and understanding. Boundaries are not about control or detachment. They are about ensuring that both partners are able to thrive in the relationship while maintaining their sense of self. Logical thinking helps a woman evaluate what is acceptable and what is not in a relationship, allowing her to communicate her needs clearly and assertively without fear or guilt. For example, if a woman feels uncomfortable with certain behaviors, such as a partner not respecting her time or privacy, logic empowers her to address the issue directly. She can explain why the behavior is unacceptable and suggest alternatives, all while maintaining respect for both herself and her partner. By using logic to define and communicate boundaries, the Stoic woman ensures that her emotional needs are met without compromising her sense of self-worth. The Stoic practice of emotional detachment. While Stoicism does not advocate emotional detachment in the sense of withdrawing from love or affection, it does encourage emotional detachment in the sense of not becoming overly attached to specific outcomes. Love, by its very nature, involves vulnerability and the risk of loss, and the Stoic practice of detachment helps women navigate these risks with emotional resilience. Logic encourages women to accept the impermanence of relationships and to recognize that no matter how deeply they may care for someone, the outcome is not always in their control. This perspective reduces anxiety and allows women to approach relationships with a sense of inner peace, free from the fear of loss or disappointment. For example, if a woman is in a relationship where things feel uncertain or unstable, logic can help her detach from the need for immediate reassurance. Instead of obsessing over the relationship's future or worrying about things outside of her control, she can focus on what she can control: her actions, communication, and emotional well-being. This acceptance of uncertainty allows her to approach love with grace rather than anxiety. Logic and long-term happiness in love. Ultimately, the role of logic in a woman's love life is to promote long-term happiness and fulfillment, rather than short-term gratification or emotional highs and lows. By balancing emotions with rational thought, the Stoic woman ensures that her decisions align with her deeper values and long-term goals. She avoids being swept up in fleeting passions or impulsive decisions that may lead to regret, and instead makes choices that are consistent with her true desires and vision for the future. By applying logic to love, women can create relationships that are grounded in mutual respect, clear communication, and shared values. They can navigate emotional challenges with resilience, make decisions with clarity, and foster love that is both passionate and enduring. Number 8. How Stoicism shapes women's romantic choices: emotion versus logic. Romantic relationships are often a delicate balance of emotion and reason. Love brings with it a whirlwind of feelings: excitement, passion, vulnerability, and sometimes uncertainty or heartbreak. While emotions are an essential and natural part of any romantic relationship, they can also lead to impulsive decisions, confusion, and unrealistic expectations. This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rooted in rational thought, emotional resilience, and self-control, offers valuable insights for women navigating the complexities of love. By understanding and applying Stoic principles, women can make wiser romantic choices that are guided by both emotion and logic, ensuring more stable, fulfilling, and harmonious relationships. Stoicism teaches that while emotions are not to be suppressed, they should not control our actions. The philosophy emphasizes the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control, our thoughts, behaviors, and responses, and what is outside of our control, such as the actions of others or the unpredictable nature of love itself. By applying logic to emotional experiences, Stoic women are able to make thoughtful, rational decisions in their love lives, rather than being swayed by transient feelings or external circumstances. The balance between emotion and logic in love. Romantic love can stir deep emotional responses: joy, passion, jealousy, insecurity, and fear. For many women, these feelings can sometimes cloud judgment or lead to decisions that aren't in their best interest. Stoicism provides a framework for understanding that while emotions are valid, they are not always reliable guides for making sound decisions. Logic, however, provides clarity, perspective, and the ability to act in alignment with one's values and long-term goals. A Stoic woman approaches romantic decisions with emotional awareness and rational thought. She recognizes and accepts her feelings, but does not allow them to dictate her actions. For instance, if she feels infatuated with someone but isn't sure about the compatibility or future of the relationship, her emotional impulse might be to act on her attraction immediately. However, by applying Stoic logic, she takes a step back and evaluates the situation objectively. What do I truly value in a relationship? Does this person align with those values? What do I hope for in the long term? This rational approach helps prevent decisions driven purely by emotion, such as rushing into a relationship without considering compatibility or ignoring red flags. Stoicism encourages taking a moment to reflect, gain perspective, and make decisions that are in line with one's true desires and long-term well-being. Using logic to assess compatibility. When it comes to romantic choices, compatibility is a critical factor that is often overlooked when emotions take center stage. The initial phases of a relationship are typically filled with intense emotions and attraction, which can sometimes overshadow deeper questions about whether the relationship is truly a good fit. Stoicism offers women the tools to assess compatibility in a rational, thoughtful way, focusing on values, shared goals, and long-term compatibility rather than fleeting emotions. For the Stoic woman, compatibility goes beyond physical attraction or temporary excitement. She considers whether her potential partner shares her core values, aligns with her life goals, and supports her personal growth. She evaluates whether the relationship fosters mutual respect, trust, and communication, which are essential for long-term happiness. Emotional attraction alone may not be enough to sustain a healthy relationship in the long run, and Stoicism teaches women to consider the emotional and practical aspects of compatibility before making romantic choices. For example, if a woman is dating someone who doesn't share her values or doesn't prioritize important aspects of a relationship, such as communication or trust, she can apply Stoic logic to evaluate whether this relationship is worth pursuing further. Instead of acting on the emotional pull to stay in the relationship due to attachment or fear of being alone, the Stoic woman reflects on whether her partner aligns with her personal standards and goals for the future. The role of emotional resilience in romantic decision-making. Emotions like fear, jealousy, insecurity, and even intense attraction can cloud judgment and lead women to make impulsive decisions in their love lives. These emotions, while natural, often arise from external factors that are outside of one's control, such as a partner's actions or the uncertainty of the relationship's future. Stoicism teaches that emotional resilience is key to navigating these turbulent emotions without letting them dictate behavior. Emotional resilience involves the ability to acknowledge and process one's feelings, but also the strength to move beyond them and make decisions that are aligned with long-term happiness. For example, if a woman feels jealous or insecure when her partner interacts with someone else, Stoic wisdom encourages her to pause, reflect, and ask, is this feeling coming from a place of insecurity or fear? What is within my control in this situation? How can I respond in a way that is constructive? Instead of reacting impulsively, perhaps by confronting her partner out of jealousy or withdrawing emotionally, she can use logic and emotional resilience to respond calmly and thoughtfully. She may choose to communicate her feelings openly and respectfully, seek reassurance or, if necessary, address underlying insecurities that might be influencing her emotional response. Avoiding the pitfalls of idealization. One of the common traps that many women fall into in romantic relationships is the idealization of their partner or the relationship itself. When emotions are running high, it's easy to overlook flaws or ignore warning signs, convincing oneself that love will overcome any obstacle. However, Stoicism warns against placing unrealistic expectations on love or relationships. By using logic and reason, women can avoid idealizing their partner and instead see the relationship for what it truly is. For example, if a woman is in a relationship with someone who does not meet her emotional or personal needs, but she is deeply in love, she may ignore red flags or convince herself that things will improve over time. Stoic logic teaches that while love is beautiful, it should not blind us to reality. Rational thinking helps a woman separate her emotional desires from the objective truths about the relationship, such as whether her partner is genuinely supportive, whether communication is healthy, and whether both individuals are equally invested in the relationship. The Stoic woman approaches love with eyes wide open. She accepts that love is not a fairy tale and that relationships require effort, compromise, and mutual growth. She avoids romanticizing her partner or relationship and instead focuses on realistic expectations and shared goals. The Stoic practice of detachment and acceptance. Stoicism teaches the practice of emotional detachment, not in the sense of withdrawing from love or affection, but in the sense of detaching from the need to control or force outcomes. In relationships, this practice of detachment allows women to love freely, without anxiety or fear of loss, while accepting that not everything is within their control. Relationships are dynamic and unpredictable, and the Stoic approach to love involves accepting this uncertainty while maintaining emotional balance. For the Stoic woman, detachment means recognizing that while she can control her actions, thoughts, and responses, she cannot control how her partner behaves or how the relationship unfolds. This mindset fosters a sense of inner peace, reducing anxiety about the future or fear of rejection. She learns to appreciate the present moment in the relationship without obsessing over outcomes or seeking constant validation. For example, if a woman is in a relationship where things feel uncertain, Stoic detachment helps her maintain emotional peace. Instead of clinging to the outcome or fearing the relationship's end, she accepts that she can only control how she shows up in the relationship, how she communicates, and how she responds to challenges. This acceptance of uncertainty empowers her to make rational, grounded choices that align with her long-term happiness. Number 9. Stoic love. How women can balance feelings with rational thought. Love is one of the most profound and complex emotions humans experience. It's exhilarating, confusing, and at times overwhelming. For women, navigating love can feel like an intricate dance between intense emotions and the desire for clarity, control, and stability. While emotions like passion, affection, and desire are essential in romantic relationships, they can also cloud judgment, lead to impulsive decisions, and sometimes cause unnecessary pain. This is where Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes reason, emotional resilience, and self-mastery, provides a powerful framework for finding balance in love. The Stoic approach to love doesn't encourage the suppression of emotions or detachment from the intensity of romantic feelings. Instead, it offers tools to understand, manage, and respond to emotions in a way that promotes wisdom, stability, and long-term fulfillment. For the Stoic woman, love is not about avoiding emotions, but about embracing them with rational thought, ensuring that feelings don't take control and cloud decision-making. By balancing emotion with logic, women can make wiser romantic choices, experience deeper intimacy, and build relationships that are both emotionally fulfilling and grounded in rational thought. Understanding Stoicism and its application to love. At its core, Stoicism teaches that we can't control external events or the actions of others, but we can control how we respond to them. This concept, known as the dichotomy of control, is central to navigating love. Emotions often arise in response to things that are outside of our control, such as how a partner behaves, how a relationship evolves, or whether love is reciprocated. The Stoic woman learns to focus on what she can control, her thoughts, feelings, and actions. Instead of being carried away by the emotional highs and lows of love, the Stoic woman seeks to respond thoughtfully to her emotions. She doesn't suppress feelings like joy, passion, or sorrow, but rather understands that emotions, while valid, should not dictate her actions or choices. She cultivates emotional resilience, recognizing that she can choose how to act, even in the face of overwhelming feelings. Recognizing and understanding emotions. For the Stoic woman, the first step in balancing emotions with rational thought is to recognize and understand her feelings. Emotions are not something to fear or deny, but are signals that provide valuable information about her needs, desires, and boundaries. In the context of love, emotions can highlight what she values in a partner, what makes her feel safe or vulnerable, and what desires are not being met in the relationship. However, Stoicism teaches that it's essential not to be ruled by emotions. While it's important to acknowledge emotions, the Stoic woman doesn't allow herself to be swept away by them. For example, if she feels intense jealousy or fear of rejection, she doesn't let those emotions drive her to act impulsively, such as confronting her partner aggressively or withdrawing emotionally. Instead, she takes a step back and reflects. Why am I feeling this way? Is this emotion rooted in a past experience or an unmet need? How can I respond in a balanced way? By recognizing emotions without immediately reacting to them, the Stoic woman can maintain her composure and make decisions based on rational thought rather than emotional impulses. Using logic to assess compatibility. One of the greatest challenges in love is determining compatibility. Love can often be an emotional roller coaster, and it's easy to become so caught up in the feelings of attraction and passion that we overlook important practical considerations. Stoicism provides a rational framework for assessing the compatibility of a relationship, allowing women to make decisions grounded in long-term happiness rather than short-term emotional gratification. For the Stoic woman, compatibility goes beyond chemistry or physical attraction. She considers deeper questions like, are our values aligned? Do we share common life goals and priorities? Do we respect each other's boundaries and individuality? How does this relationship support or hinder my personal growth? Using logic, the Stoic woman takes a step back from the emotional excitement of a relationship and evaluates whether it truly aligns with her long-term vision for her life. Emotional attraction is important, but compatibility based on shared values, mutual respect, and personal growth is what will create a lasting, fulfilling connection. For example, if a woman is deeply attracted to someone who may not share her core beliefs or values, Stoicism encourages her to consider whether her emotions are clouding her judgment. Is the relationship healthy and sustainable in the long term, or is she simply caught up in an emotional high? Using logic, she can make a more grounded decision about whether to invest further in the relationship. Emotional resilience, responding rather than reacting. In the throes of love, emotions can sometimes take over, leading to reactive behavior, whether it's an outburst during an argument, seeking constant reassurance, or making rash decisions out of fear. Stoicism teaches the practice of emotional resilience, the ability to acknowledge and process emotions without being controlled by them. Emotional resilience is not about suppressing emotions, but about responding thoughtfully to them. For the Stoic woman, when faced with intense feelings, whether it's anger, frustration, insecurity, or joy, she takes a moment to pause and reflect. This pause allows her to regain control over her response and act in alignment with her values, rather than reacting impulsively. For instance, if a woman feels hurt by something her partner says or does, instead of reacting immediately with anger or defensiveness, Stoicism teaches her to pause and reflect. What is the source of my hurt? Can I communicate my feelings constructively, or is this something I need to process internally first? This emotional resilience helps her respond with clarity, ensuring that her actions align with her best interests and the health of the relationship. Detachment, letting go of uncontrollable outcomes. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is the practice of detachment, letting go of the need to control or obsess over outcomes. In love, this is especially relevant. While we may desire certain outcomes, such as a committed relationship or mutual love, Stoicism teaches that we cannot control the future or the actions of others. Instead, the Stoic woman focuses on her own actions and responses without becoming overly attached to any particular outcome. By practicing detachment, the Stoic woman is able to enjoy the present moment without fear or anxiety about the future. She doesn't cling to the need for a specific outcome, such as getting the partner to commit, or worrying excessively about how the relationship will evolve. This doesn't mean she is emotionally detached or disinterested in the relationship. Rather, it means she is not emotionally dependent on a particular result to validate her worth or happiness. For example, if a woman is in a relationship where the future feels uncertain, Stoic detachment allows her to approach the situation with a sense of calm acceptance. She can focus on enjoying the present, communicating openly, and responding to challenges in a rational way without the anxiety of needing the relationship to meet a specific set of expectations. Applying Stoic wisdom in conflict resolution. In any relationship, conflicts are inevitable. How we handle disagreements or difficult situations can either strengthen or weaken the connection. The Stoic woman applies reason and emotional control to conflict resolution, ensuring that her responses are thoughtful and constructive. When faced with conflict, Stoicism teaches the importance of separating facts from feelings. Instead of reacting based on hurt or frustration, the Stoic woman reflects on the situation objectively, focusing on what is within her control, how she communicates, how she listens, and how she can contribute to resolving the issue in a productive way. For example, If a woman is upset by something her partner did, instead of immediately launching into a blame-filled conversation, she uses logic to express her feelings clearly and respectfully. "I felt hurt when you did X, and here's why." This approach fosters constructive dialogue, mutual understanding, and emotional intimacy, while avoiding the escalation of negative emotions. Number 10. From emotion to logic. How Stoicism transforms women's approach to love. Love is often portrayed as an emotional roller coaster, full of passion, spontaneity, and vulnerability. For women, love can stir a whirlwind of feelings, ranging from joy and exhilaration to doubt, insecurity, and heartbreak. While these emotions are an inherent part of the human experience, they can sometimes cloud judgment, lead to impulsive decisions, and create unnecessary turmoil in relationships. This is where Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rooted in reason, emotional resilience, and self-control, can offer a transformative approach to love. Stoicism doesn't demand the suppression of emotions, nor does it suggest that one should become indifferent to love or affection. Rather, it teaches women how to transform their approach to love by balancing emotions with logic, using reason to navigate the complexities of romantic relationships. By embracing Stoic principles, women can develop the emotional intelligence and rational thought needed to cultivate healthier, more fulfilling love lives, grounded in self-awareness, wisdom, and emotional resilience. The core of Stoicism: mastering what you can control. At the heart of Stoic philosophy is the idea of the dichotomy of control, the understanding that while we cannot control external events or the actions of others, we can control our responses and reactions. In romantic relationships, much of what women may feel emotionally attached to, such as their partner's behavior, the course of the relationship, or how love unfolds, is outside their control. However, by focusing on what is within their power, namely their thoughts, choices, and emotional responses, women can maintain a sense of emotional equilibrium no matter the circumstances. For instance, in love, emotions can arise from external triggers like a partner's words, actions, or even their absence. These emotions can often be intense, ranging from joy to jealousy, frustration, and even despair. Rather than allowing these emotions to dictate behavior or decisions, Stoicism encourages women to reflect on their feelings objectively and decide how to respond in alignment with their values. The emotional reaction might not be in their control, but how they act or think in response to that emotion is. This shift from reacting impulsively to responding thoughtfully is where Stoicism helps women create a more measured and balanced approach to love. Rather than being at the mercy of emotional highs and lows, they can channel their feelings through reason, making decisions that are grounded in their long-term happiness and well-being. The power of self-awareness: recognizing and understanding emotions. The first step in transforming emotions into logic is to recognize and understand them. Stoicism doesn't advocate for suppressing feelings, but instead encourages women to become keenly aware of their emotional states. By recognizing emotions for what they are, temporary reactions to external events, women can approach their feelings with clarity, without being overwhelmed by them. For example, if a woman feels jealous or insecure in her relationship, Stoicism suggests that she take a step back and reflect on the root of these emotions. Are they stemming from a fear of abandonment or from a lack of self-worth? Is the insecurity based on past experiences, or is it a natural reaction to an unmet need in the present? By reflecting on the source of her emotions, a Stoic woman can understand whether her feelings are reasonable or disproportionate, and whether they are helpful in making decisions about her relationship. This awareness allows her to make decisions that are rooted in reason rather than reactive emotions, Rather than acting impulsively or letting feelings of jealousy, anger, or fear dictate her actions, she can choose to communicate calmly, express her feelings constructively, and seek clarity in the relationship without allowing emotions to cloud her judgment. Logic as a guide to compatibility and long-term happiness. When emotions run high in a romantic relationship, it can be easy to overlook key elements of compatibility or long-term potential. Love often brings intense feelings of attraction and excitement that may overshadow the practical aspects of a relationship. However, Stoicism teaches women to evaluate relationships using rational thought, considering factors that contribute to long-term fulfillment rather than short-term gratification. Using logic, the Stoic woman evaluates her partner and the relationship based on core values such as trust, respect, shared goals, and mutual growth. She asks herself, do our values align? Do we communicate openly and respectfully? Is this relationship contributing to my growth, or is it holding me back? Do we support each other's well-being, both emotionally and practically? Rather than being swept away by fleeting feelings of attraction or excitement, the Stoic woman assesses the relationship through the lens of compatibility, determining if her emotional attachment aligns with her deeper, long-term desires. This logic helps her avoid emotional decisions that may later lead to regret, such as staying in a relationship that isn't serving her well or committing to a partner who doesn't align with her life goals. Emotional resilience, responding to conflict with calm and clarity. In any relationship, disagreements and conflicts are inevitable. How we handle these moments can significantly impact the health of the relationship. Stoicism teaches the practice of emotional resilience, which involves acknowledging emotions but not allowing them to dictate our actions. The Stoic woman is able to pause, reflect, and respond to conflicts with clarity and composure. For example, during a heated argument, a Stoic woman does not let her anger or frustration control her actions. Instead, she takes a deep breath, examines the situation objectively, and responds in a manner that aligns with her values. She recognizes that arguments are a natural part of relationships, but the way they are handled can either strengthen or weaken the bond. By taking a moment to reflect before reacting, she can ensure that her responses are measured, thoughtful, and aimed at resolving the conflict rather than escalating it. Emotional resilience also allows women to face challenges in love without becoming overwhelmed or disillusioned. Whether dealing with misunderstandings, unmet expectations, or difficult emotions, Stoicism empowers women to approach love with a calm, balanced mindset, able to navigate the highs and lows of romance with inner peace. Detachment, letting go of control and accepting uncertainty. One of the most powerful lessons that Stoicism offers in the context of love is the practice of detachment, learning to let go of the need to control the outcome of a relationship. In love, we often have strong desires for specific outcomes: a committed partnership, mutual affection, or a predictable future. However, Stoicism teaches that these outcomes are not entirely within our control, and the pursuit of certainty in love can lead to unnecessary stress and disappointment. Instead, the Stoic woman learns to focus on what she can control: her thoughts, actions, and responses. She accepts that love is unpredictable and that the only thing she can truly control is how she shows up in the relationship. This acceptance of uncertainty frees her from anxiety about the future and allows her to enjoy the present moment without becoming fixated on a particular outcome. By practicing detachment, the Stoic woman is able to embrace love without being consumed by the need for it to unfold in a specific way. She learns to find peace in the process of love itself, whether or not the relationship turns out as expected. Conclusion. Stoicism offers a powerful lens through which women can navigate the complexities of love, helping them strike a balance between the intensity of emotions and the clarity of reason. Rather than dismissing or suppressing feelings, Stoicism encourages women to recognize and understand their emotions while using logic to guide their actions and decisions. This approach empowers them to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, creating relationships that are grounded in mutual respect, compatibility, and long-term fulfillment. By embracing Stoic principles, women can cultivate emotional resilience, face challenges in love with greater calmness, and make decisions based on their values and goals, rather than fleeting emotional impulses. The Stoic practice of detachment allows them to let go of the need to control outcomes, accepting the uncertainties of love while focusing on what they can control, how they show up in the relationship. This shift in mindset not only transforms how they approach love, but also fosters healthier, more balanced, and enduring connections. In the end, Stoicism offers a roadmap to navigate love with wisdom and emotional depth, ensuring that women can experience the fullness of romantic relationships while maintaining their peace of mind, independence, and sense of self. It's a philosophy that teaches women to embrace the journey of love with both heart and mind in harmony, creating a foundation for lasting happiness and fulfillment.